In this video, I want to make it 100% crystal clear why you have to descale, what happens if you don't descale, how to descale, and to show you guys how to turn this machine into this. Alright, so let's begin. The story goes, I bought this used Dedica. I don't even remember why, if it was for parts or just to see what was wrong with it. But basically they said in the description that it wasn't working anymore. And if you listen, it tries to pump, but nothing happens. So luckily, DeLonghi makes it quite easy to open up the lid on this Dedica, and I'm gonna open it up and show you guys what the problem is. Now, if you guys do follow this video, just keep in mind that you're responsible yourself for your own safety and for the proper functioning of your machine. So let's get started. So to begin, I'm just going to remove every part that is easily removable. I'm going to take off the water tank too. And it's only 2 little Phillips screws here in the back. They are threaded for plastic, so they're very easy to remove. I've already removed those in preparation for the video. Now we're gonna pop the top, and I'm gonna show you the reason why the water cannot make it through to the brew group. By the way, guys, short introduction from Future Tom. If you're getting any value from this video, please do give it a like and also consider subscribing to the video. That way I know to make more like this one in the future. And this video is gonna require a lot of footage, a whole lot of editing, so I do appreciate that. Back to the video. All right, so anyway, I've got the 2 screws removed on the back. In order to remove this top part, it's pretty easy. You just have to lift up a little bit here in the back and push forwards, and then the top pops right off. And what are we met with inside? Well, if we take a look, it's quite obvious right away what's going on. If you see this line coming out of the heater, what we got is here a whole bunch of white stuff in there within the PTFE line. So what all that is basically the previous owner never bothered descaling, probably used tap water, and his tap water or her tap water was hard. So what we got to do is get that out of there, because that simply does not move. You'll see it gets completely stuck and it just clogs up the path to the brew group. So we got to remove it. So in order to remove it, I think the main thing we have to do is unclog this guy, and I think we're also going to have to unclog this one potentially. Let's just see. The good thing is anyhow that DeLonghi uses clips which are easy to remove. So I'm just going to remove this clip here like so. Very nice. This is just a little stainless steel clamp there, or clip rather. Put that off to the side. So we got one removed. Gosh dang it. All right, now let that be a lesson to you to wait longer than I did. Let it cool down, ideally a few hours or overnight, because there's gonna be still some pressure on there. But anyhow, all right, so I've got that guy removed from the heater. I'm gonna have to cut this clip here. And now I can remove the clip from the other side here. It does require a couple of smaller tools to be able to do this. So I've got basically a nice little tweezers here to be able to pull the clip out. And I've got this tool here also for doing some fine work. So now I can remove this guy, and you'll see it's full of scale, and that is not good. So if I try to blow through it, nothing comes out. And by the way, what I see here is, here's a black rubber O-ring. Gotta make sure that these go back in when you're reinstalling later on both sides. Now there's a couple of things that you could do with this clog line. You could just replace it completely, but I think it's still good. And what else you could do is you could put it in a solution. I've got a solution of vinegar and water. You could also use descaling solution. So I could just drop it in here for a few hours and hope that it dissolves enough. But I think just to speed things up, what I'm gonna do is take a guitar string, and I mean, you could use different things to poke through there. I'm gonna try this guy here. I think this is the E string. I'm just gonna try to poke it through there. Oh my goodness, is that full of crap? That is crazy. So it goes in this side just fine, and it really gets stuck in there. My goodness. So I'm gonna have to try a thinner one. Let's try the 32. No, let's try a smaller one. Let's try the 24 and see if we can get that guy through there. And try to bore it out. It's a little harder than I anticipated. Oh yeah. Now it's going in there. I can kind of ream it out. Excellent. Okay, good. So now you can see I've got the string to go all the way through. All right, that's the 24. I think it's 24 gauge or whatever they call it. And next, I'm gonna ream through with the big one. My goodness. Nope. So these guitar strings are not that expensive. You can get them on Amazon or at your local music shop. They're actually pretty good tools for this kind of stuff. All right, so I'm able to get this gauge through, no problem. Let me try the thick one again. That is just crazy, dude. Insane. All right, finally able to get this guy all the way through, I think. Just look at that scale. Try the other side once. It is just a lot of crap in there. So as you see though, it really creates a restriction there that makes it super difficult to push out even with a guitar string, which is just insane to me that I could get that calcified. But yeah, that's what's killing your espresso machine. So I do hope that this video helps some of you guys as kind of like a prophylactic to make sure that you descale. All right, so now I've got it fairly well cleaned out. I'm gonna put it in this solution off to the side, let it soak in there for a while. And then I'm hoping it will be clear enough to put back into the machine, and we're gonna do a full descale. And at least at this point, water is coming, or air is coming out of the other end. Okay, so you sit in there. And now one other thing was, as I was testing before, there was no water coming out of the steam wand either. So I'm just gonna check this PTFE line in there too and make sure that that's clear. Get that clip off. This one's gonna be tough to get back on. All right, so what about this line? Is this clear? Nope, this one's not clear either. I can't blow anything through it. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear this one off as well. It's basically just at the tip here that it's really bad. Oh, there it comes out. Gross. Gross. All right, but we got that sucker cleared out too. That's important because we're gonna want to steam some milk as well. And it should be able to blow through that sucker. Yep, so I'm gonna soak that guy for a little bit. Then we're gonna put the machine back together and we're gonna do a full descale and see that we get the machine working properly. All right, so I've had these things sitting in here for a little while and they do look like they're at least close enough that we can do it full descaling now and the water should flow through there. Again, if I check, I can blow bubbles in there, so that's telling me I can at least get air through them. So I'm going to remove these guys here and put these back into the machine. Another thing that I've done is in the meantime, I've fished out of these couplings in here. I've fished out the 2 O-rings that had been still inside, and I put them on each of these PTFE lines so that I know for sure that I've got O-rings on both. You can also check them, make sure that they are in good shape before putting them back in. These are fine, they're not brittle or broken, so they're gonna work fine. So we're gonna put these guys back in. Pretty easy to do. Just stuff the guy in there like that. You gotta push kind of hard and get it all the way in there. And then just take the clip and push the clip in, like so. Now, it was easy there. There's some spots it's not as easy. Where there's a little bit less space, you're going to need a tweezers. And I will put these tools I'm using, this self-holding tweezers, the guitar strings, and I'm gonna put also the Descaler that I'm gonna use in the description down below so you can check that out. I'm gonna stick this guy into the front of the brew group down here. And it's probably not all that easy to see, but just goes right back in where it came from. And I gotta kind of manipulate this clip into place. Oh, that worked out pretty good. Excellent. And now we just have to put this guy in. So one was up here. This is gonna be easy to put in. Got that pushing all the way. I'm gonna put this clip in from the top. And oops. Oh my gosh. This little bugger just fell off. Gotta make sure that those O-rings stay on for shizzle. And gotta work that guy down back into its spot. Get in there. I might actually have to bend it a little first. Might have been wise to put that one on actually first, but we're gonna do it. This does need just a little patience. Okay, but now I've got this guy pushed into the bottom. It's not all that easy to record. Just put everything back where it came from. These are some tight spaces here. This is gonna be the hardest clip to get back in, I'm thinking, but it should be doable. Oh yeah. Excellent. Okay, and of course, before we button this guy up, we have to attach the red wire back where it belongs. That's important so that the machine knows if this switch is flipped or not. There's a little micro switch right here. And that needs to be working. Okay, let's get this guy buttoned up. It's just a reverse process. Put the lid on like so. It's got these little hooks on it. So those hooks hook in right here. Just kind of push that forward and you can pull back on the back here just a little bit to get it in like so. And then put the 2 screws back in. Alrighty, let's plug this guy in and get it set up for descaling. So for descaling, what we gotta do is get, first of all, some Descaler. Now this is the one from DeLonghi, and I would recommend it. It's the one that they develop for their machines. Okay, some people try to use vinegar, and the vinegar has kind of a similar result, but it does also leave that vinegar taste for a while. So I would recommend what the manufacturer actually developed for the machine, which is the DeLonghi. They call it Eco Decalc. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing this to a DeLonghi Dedica, to a La Specialista, to a Magnifica Plus, the process is quite the same. You just put in 100 milliliters of this Descaler. And then 900 milliliters of water. Since the Descaler is already a solution, it mixes up real nice for you. Put that on the machine. Of course, you need a reservoir here to catch the water. Make sure the portafilter is not in there. And now we're going to turn it on. Gotta wait for it to heat up and finish with its initialization process. Okay, And now in the case of the Dedica, to enter the settings menu, you got 3 buttons up here. 1 cup, 2 cup steam. Press and hold the steam button until it enters programming mode. So these buttons will blink in sequence. Blink, 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 blink. And what you have to do then to enter descaling mode is flip the switch here. But you got to do it while these buttons are still blinking. Eventually, if you don't, it will time out and it will exit the programming mode. So I'm going to do it again. Hold this down until the lights flash in sequence. And we're going to turn the steam lever and then press the steam button. And now it's going to start descaling. Oh, and look at that. The pump is working. And you can see that it's pretty cloudy water because of that descaling solution. It might take 20 minutes or even longer, so I'm just gonna let it do its thing, run out, and then come back and do a rinse. Now, older machines, like I think this one is, require 2 rinses. Newer machines only require 1 rinse. Alright, so while it's descaling, what you're going to do is kind of flip between the brew group and the steam wand. You want to make sure that both paths, as we saw on the inside, are descaled. Alright, see you in a jiffy. Alright, now we are done with phase 1. We got the descaler all the way through the machine, and now it's time to give it a rinse. So what I got to do is dump out my container there. I'm going to remove the water container here, give it a good rinse, and fill it back up to max with fresh water. Oh, and by the way, while the machine was in the descaling phase, I did take a little bit of this stuff and just cleaned it up a little because it does work great for that as well. Right now I got my fresh rinse water right here. All I gotta do is press the button to start the rinse. This should go a lot faster than the descaling cycle. And DeLonghi also says to kind of switch between a little bit so that the brew group gets rinsed as well. Alrighty, it is time for our second rinse. So I'm gonna take this rinse water and dump it. I'm gonna go fill up the water tank again to max, and then we're gonna do our second rinse. Okay, here we go, time for our second rinse. And again, here we're gonna alternate a little bit back and forth between the steam wand and the brew group. And after this, we'll be good to go. Alrighty, second rinse is done. So all we gotta do is dump this water, fill up with fresh water here, fresh filtered water ideally. I use Brita filtered water. You can also use a DeLonghi water filter if you want. And one other thing that I would recommend doing, since we've taken it this far, is having a look here and removing the shower screen. All you need for that is a little stubby Phillips screwdriver, because that's probably going to be a little bit grimy too. And then there's cleaning tablets that you can buy. Pretty much any manufacturer, these cleaning tablets. So yeah, this is a little grody here. That's what that looks like. What we're going to do is dump that in here, as well as a cleaning tablet. And I got some hot water. I'm gonna dump that in there, and then also take out the basket from your portafilter. Generally, they come with these inserts. So what I do is just remove the insert. Oops, there's a little tab in there to remove it. I'm gonna put those guys in there, and I might as well put the portafilter in there. Put some hot water on top, and then we're gonna let that dissolve and get cleaned up nice. See you in a few minutes. Alrighty, now that we're done with the cleaning part, I mean, the parts did turn out really nice and clean. The shower screen, the basket, and the insert look really, really good. So it's time to put it back together. And then we can test it out. So, shower screen, when you put that back in, snug it up, but don't don't crank too hard on it because you're screwing into plastic. I'm gonna reassemble my basket like so. Put that guy here in the portafilter. I'm gonna put this back on, Panarello, and now we can test this guy. So for our test, we're gonna put in, I think about 13, 14 grams of pre-ground coffee because this is a pressurized basket that we're testing it with. 13 and a half, give her a tamp. And let's see what we get out. And it worked. How nice is that? Great success. I'm delighted. Another machine fixed and saved from the graveyard. Now guys, I know that there are some questions that pop up with descaling. Sometimes, for whatever reason, the Dedica doesn't make it all the way through the cycle. If that happens, I would recommend just turning it off, turning it on, and going through the cycle again. If you've already run through with Descaler completely, you don't have to bother doing it again. Just put filtered water in there and run through the descaling cycle and the 2 rinses, or the 1 rinse. That's the second question. Newer machines only require 1 rinse. Keep that in mind. Anyway, the salient thing I wanted to show you guys in this video is how important it is to descale. You saw this one was rendered completely useless because of the scale it had built up in the lines inside the machine. But now, since we took it apart, got the scale out, we're able to fix it. And so, I hope that the video was helpful for you guys. And until next time, I wish you happy coffee drinking, happy espresso drinking. Bye now.